This is Drop Tent Media Network.
So my bit of the week, I did it a bunch last year, but I've been back on it recently, which is my best friend William, again, same guy we were doing the blanker, I hardly know her joke. We moved to when someone says something really serious, like really serious through like fake tears, you say psych right now. Babe, say psych right now. I swear to God, if you don't say psych, I'm going to lose it. But it has to be about a situation that would be so serious that you would be like, tell me you're joking. Like, please, through tears. But you're like, say psych right now, babe. So that's kind of I've been back on that. Been back on say psych right now, babe.
I'm looking at my texts recently and to see things because I'm often one who'll repeat a phrase.
Yeah, that's why I knew it was perfect for us because you and I both just kind of get on one and then we're like, this is our thing for a bit.
I've been calling teeth chompers.
That's funny. That's a great bit. Chompers is great.
Not to talk about Josh too much, but he has this one grin he does, showing teeth and one without. And I've been saying showing them chomps.
Also just funny that Josh has two settings.
Well, one is I'm gonna kill you, and one is a genuine I'm laughing at something. So when I'm getting the one grin, I'm like, I'll be like, nah, it wasn't a good enough laugh. I need to see them chomps.
Let me see those chompers.
But now I think about it at shows too. I'm like, why am I not getting enough chomps?
I love that. Chompers is it's a good way to judge how your set went. Like, how many chompers did you see?
Yeah, you could see all the way back to the
right. You know it was good. Yeah. Great.
Yeah, I think that's a phrase. I have a unhinged icebreaker.
Oh, please. I have one that, same.
Okay, mine to you is,
God.
What is the most offensive job you could be told you look like you have? Like, if someone guessed what you do for work, what would you find most funny. Offense?
It is so funny that you say this because I was recently watching an episode that I have not seen very much of the show New Girl.
Okay.
And the writing on that show, they really just went all out for the last season.
Joke.
Really a lot of laughs per minute. And someone says something about the main character, Jake Johnson, and derogatorily says, "You're in love with him? He looks like the only white waiter at a Chinese restaurant." And I'm like,
I remember that joke because I remember thinking about Garden State and being like, is this a Zach, is it making fun of Zach Braff too?
That's funny. I didn't think about that. I just thought it was a very funny thing to pull out of thin air.
Yeah.
Especially because it's Rob Reiner who says it. So it's just very weird.
Yes.
But yeah, it's really, I was thinking that's a joke that's the caliber of jokes I'd like to write in terms of pulling them out of thin air. Only white waiter at a Chinese restaurant.
So good.
I would say if someone said to me, do we mean insulting physically or
anything? If right now someone was like, "Oh, what do you do for work?" and they guessed, what stings?
So I will say that what stings a lot and has stung in the past is when I have told people that I went to school for musical theater and they've been like, "Yeah, I can tell," and I've been like, "That's the meanest thing you could ever say to me. I want you to be shocked." Maybe a physical insult, maybe PE coach.
I thought you were gonna say hand model.
PE teacher at an all-girl school. Yeah. Radio announcer.
Off. Yeah,
something where you don't see your face. Personality-wise, maybe if someone, I don't know why I would take insult to this, but so not me at all. But if someone was like, are you a kindergarten teacher? I would be like, have you fucking cunt piece of shit. No, I am not.
Mine, that is what I always think. It's a coming from a sexist place.
Yes.
Where whenever anyone assumes a caretaking role, even though I was a nanny for a while and no shame in the game of whatever job.
Same, yeah.
But whenever anyone just assumes women are nurse, teacher, caretaker of any sort, it frustrates me.
Yep.
But I think, or just the blanketed, are you in marketing? Throwing something out that this is what I think of women jobs.
Yeah, or social media.
To be fair, like when I get on stage, like I'll clock someone and be like, "Oh, you work in IT," like whatever, like joke, and like 9 times out of 10, correct.
I was gonna say
I don't think either of us do jobs that you can pinpoint from looking at someone.
No, I agree, and honestly, I think it's funny when. Have you ever had that happen before, where you say something in passing about how you're a comic to a stranger and they laugh like that was the joke?
Yeah, well, we're OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned OnlyFans, and they're like, "Huh," and then they look at my body and they're like, "Huh." Then I get confused.
I get it, because that's what sluts do.
Yeah,
and you would never in a million fucking years, you
I'm
piece of
trying
shit.
to write a joke about this too, where I'm like, people are so offensive on two fronts when they hear OnlyFans, because either laugh or they're like trying to figure it out and assume porn. And I'm like, no, like you offended me twice. One, assuming I do sex work. And 2, assuming I'm not hot enough to do sex work. Like, those are your 2 thoughts very quick.
Yeah.
Like, and you're, like, insulting, like, and it's just proof that, like, women can't win either way, because, like, they're...
It's a...
I think it is! I think it's a catch-22.
I really thought it was.
It's a double-edged sword, for sure.
What is the...
It's bittersweet. It's 2 things at once.
Yeah, it's 2. They're both.
It's a twin. It's the twin towers of thoughts I'm having.
This is a great segue into my question, but okay.
Please,
no.
No, it's basically that. It's just like I want to get that bit out where it's like, even if they're aware of OnlyFans, they immediately jump to think I do porn, and then immediately jump to think I'm not hot enough to do porn. So I'm like, which is it?
Yeah.
Like, are you shocked that it's porn, or are you shocked that I'm ugly? Like, which is it?
Yeah, it's true. It's like the thing of like people being like, oh, I think you're ugly, so there's no way that you could do sex work. But then on the reverse end, if you said you did do sex work, they'd be like, oh, or they'd be like, if you said that you didn't do sex work, they'd be like, oh, well, I would have thought your self-esteem's so low that you do sex work. And it's like, so you can just find, it's like the contrarian thing where you can find a reason. Even if it's not what you actually think, you're just going to say the opposite.
I mean, my entire life of men asking me out, me being like, no thanks. Whatever, you're a fat bitch.
Yep.
We invite you out anyway.
Yeah.
I never even looked at you. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, you
would have married me.
Well, some guy like messaged me on Twitter and said something calling me fat. And I said, guess you love fat bitches then. Oh, it was on my OnlyFans. He like subscribed and was like liking all this shit. And then like I think he like sent something and like just wasn't a lot of money. So I was like, this is a dumb amount of money.
Sure.
And he was like, whatever, you fat cunt, like whatever. And I was like, guess you love fat bitches. Like, and then he was like, never answered, obviously.
It is true.
Because what are you gonna say to that?
Yeah, like when anybody like makes fun of like their ex or something and calls them ugly, it's like, didn't you date them for 6 years?
I always like, if you say anything bad about your ex, you just look bad. But I just remembered something funny that happened to me today, talking about me mumbling and like misconnection things. I work with this guy, he's really nice, and he was seated at a chair that was pulled out a little bit. So I went to walk behind him and he like stood up and like moved the chair. And I was like, you're not that big. You didn't have to move the chair. And what he heard was, I'm not that big. You didn't have to move the chair. So he goes, you're not big at all. You're just thick. And I was like,
And it's not even what you said. So it was unprompted.
No. And he was being so sweet and he is like nice. And he thought I was like being self-deprecating. But I was making a joke. I was like, you're not that big, like whatever. And he was like, you're not big at all. And I was like, oh, I'm going to die. And then he just said, you're thick. And then we just stood there and I was like, sweet. Yeah.
It's like, I think I told this on the pods, but did I tell you about how I had said once to my ex about it? I was trying to say about how my doctors, because when you have CF, if you get sick, you lose a lot of weight quickly. Yeah. And I was trying to say something about how I was a little bit below what I should have been weight-wise. And I said, at the time, I was like, I'm 151 pounds or something. And he said, no, don't talk about yourself like that. Like thinking I was saying that 151 pounds is enormous. And I was like, this took a turn, because what do you think girls weigh?
Guys, I have no idea.
What do you think girls weigh?
I'm like, do you think my boobs are filled with feathers?
They're balloons. They actually make you lighter. They're
like,
filled with helium.
You love this dump truck, but you wanted to, like, your thought process of how much a woman weighs is insane.
Yeah.
Well, but it was funny because he said that. And, like, truly, was just his honest reaction was to be like, immediately be like, you're not big. Like, don't say that. Like, you're just thick.
Yeah.
And I was like, but it's so funny to also just say like, still call me something about my body.
Yeah.
Which was just funny to me. But yeah. The offensive job thing is just based off of that. But I am trying to workshop that.
That's a great,
Well, because I used to do it about bird watching. I've said it on here before, where it's like, oh, people assume something about bird watching, people assume something about OnlyFans, and I'm somehow neither, but I do both.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like the joke there is like getting everyone first to understand the universal feeling of like, there's jobs that you don't look down upon, that you're like, great, everyone has to do this work. But if somebody were to ask you if you do that job, it feels more like an accusation.
I do that now. Like, I love that Josh bartends. I love that a lot of my friends bartend. So fun. I love visiting them at work. But now that I'm doing it some days, I find myself like, if someone's like talking about it, I'm like, oh, I'm just here for a little bit, like blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They're here too, which means they don't work during the week either. Like, I was thinking, also, great job. Yeah. Being a bartender is a great job.
And there's people who really want that job. It's just like, in the same way that I said kindergarten teacher. I could never be a kindergarten teacher because I don't have the patience. I have so much respect for people who do. But it's so aggressively not me.
Yeah, and I think that about bartending for me is like, I'm bartending during the day. Like, I could not do night. I could not work with drunk people. I could not do any of that. So it's like,
I think it also makes me reflect. If someone were to ask me if I do blank job that is so not me, like kindergarten teacher, it would make me turn inwards and be like, is my aesthetic not giving what I need it to give?
Yeah.
What am I doing wrong?
I had something happened this week where I was like, got offended, shouldn't have, but I mentioned something that happened to me in college, and someone I've known for like a year or so was like, oh, I didn't know you went to college. And my brain went like,
that's so cool that you figured out how to go to college.
My brain was like offended immediately, but then I was like, he doesn't know jack shit about me. Like, he only knows me in a bar setting, like out, and then I do comedy because I'm often coming to the bar after shows. I was like, this man doesn't know that I've worked in tech and like AI for like 5 years prior to switching off because I was making more money doing OnlyFans. I was like, I don't need to explain or like feel any guilt or any weirdness, but it's funny because my perception of me is so different. And when I hear someone else having perception that I deemed worse, my brain immediately was like, does he think I'm fucking stupid? Yeah. Like, I was like, what it? But then again, he's never asked what I did. So I was like, I wasn't offended, but I just was like...
Well, I think it's more of the surprised. I didn't know you went to college. And I imagine that feels like you're a bartender.
You moron.
Yeah.
But I think he was just saying, his thought actually was, oh, I never actually thought about your life before I knew you. Yeah. Like, I've never actually talked to you about that. Yeah. Which is way weirder to say than, oh, I didn't know you went to college.
Well, it feels like when people say, and they probably genuinely do mean it as a compliment, they don't think about what they're saying, but they think it's notable to mention when a Black person is well-spoken. They say that, and you're like, interesting, because you've never called me well-spoken, because they think of it as like a notable, different trait. Right. And you're like, it's pretty uncool to be like, you would really like this person, like, we should hire him, like, really well-spoken Black guy, and you're like, okay. And that feels the same way as like, you're a bartender. She's a bartender who went to college.
Yeah. It feels like I'm making excuses when I like talk about it, but
she's really like breaking the mold by going to college.
Which is crazy because like half of my best friends work currently in service, and I'm just like, I feel so good about that. I'm so proud of them, and I'm like, what am I missing in my brain gear? Or like, what? Clearly, it's like an insecurity of mine that I'm feeling something. I'm like, I don't want people to judge me, but I don't give a shit when I do OnlyFans and like do that. Yeah. Honestly, because that shuts people up when I say it. If I say a bartender, like I'm serving, they're like, oh, where at? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then like, we have to go there. I'm like, no, I don't want to do more work.
Yeah. We have to go there. Oh, do you know this person?
But when I'm in OnlyFans, no one's like, can I sign up? They just look at it later.
Yeah, they find it.
People are so dumb. I have business cards and the QR code goes to my link tree, which then has linked to my OnlyFans. I see where those numbers hit. Yeah. 300% higher rate of click through on the OnlyFans link than my website, obviously.
I wish that they had the, like on Instagram, you can see who looked at your story.
Oh, Lord, I don't.
I wish they had names.
I think I've said this. I don't know if on the pod, but I've definitely told you that some comedians signed up first last name, and then all of a sudden it like switched to like user 43.
No.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you did tell me that, but I don't remember who. But
I'm
you can
literally blanking on.
tell me off mic.
Clearly, they're not funny.
Yeah, comedian is strong. Okay, then my question for you was, and let me find my exact phrasing here. Was who do you think? Okay, let me start by saying, excluding coma patients.
Good start.
Who do you think was the last person to find out about 9/11, and how long after do you think it was?
People that work in coal mines.
Coal mines.
People that
and
work
how long
in
do you
jobs.
think? Like, how long do you think until the last person found out about 9/11? Who's
Was it
conscious?
Jared Leto that was on a silence retreat when something crazy happened?
Well, I was thinking about retreats, and also, did you ever see that video? This is what sparked it for me.
Why
Did
is
you-
it coal miners? So Pennsylvania.
That is very. She's so Scranton. Have you ever seen that video that was of the people who were on Big Brother and
Oh, he didn't know about COVID.
oh yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. The people who were on Big Brother
Oh yeah,
at the
scary.
time didn't find out about COVID, and they filmed them all finding out, and they were like, "We have to tell you guys." And it was like, it's actually kind of like gives me chills because we all found out really slowly. They didn't find out until it was already like at a point. So then they had to call all their family members to make sure everyone was okay, and they could like give news to them and be like, "We checked in. You guys can't have phones."
Mhm.
But it's a really interesting video of just seeing them find out about it when it already hit this point, but they've been sequestered.
Mhm.
Sequestered jurors maybe too were the last people to find out.
Right, when you just said that, I was thinking of Ronald from Jury Duty.
Yeah, Ronald
If
doesn't
I'm
know.
on, what show is it again?
Jury Duty.
No, the show you were just describing.
Oh, Big Brother?
Right. And thinking like I'm on Big Brother, and then when you think I wouldn't trust anybody, I think that was like some plot twist.
It's true, yeah. It's true if you were on like The Bachelor or something,
I think
yeah.
there's a ton of jobs now where you like won't, like you have to go into airplane mode. Like I'm sure certain.
Well, I've also seen videos. I think this was kind of I've seen it a couple times, but my algorithm knows my 9/11 thing, so maybe.
9/11, like no one, and not iPhone times. So
Yep.
It's like.
Well, there was a video that I've seen a lot where it was people on a different plane finding out about 9/11 because the pilot had to tell them like why that they were rerouting and everything that happened. And it was just like people, in 2001, no cell phones, like minding their business. And the pilot's like, so something
Hey guys.
uncool happened. It's your girl.
This is not a funny bit,
Okay. Perfect.
but you just saying having the pilot having to make that. When I was in high school, my 9th grade, Council Rock North, 7 kids within Council Rock and surrounding area committed suicide in 1 year. And our superintendent, Susan McCarthy, got on the announcements, and it got to a point where it was comical. So I will say this part is funny. Horribly traumatic. All of it bad. There was a Philadelphia Magazine article, trash, horrible, about the school, being like, the kids are rich and hot. Why are they killing themselves? Truly is the tagline. It's like the kids of Council Rock North are good looking and have money. Why are they killing themselves? You look it up. I swear to God. It was horrible. I looked it up recently. I was telling someone the story, probably you guys. And I was re-looking it up to be like, was that article as bad as it? And it would be like, coach visited a square-jawed boy who was like coming out of a coma, like medically induced coma, like in the hospital. I was like, these are children.
And also
Anyway.
like weird to call them so hot. Like
I'm pretty sure
this sexy little piece was in a coma. She's
his
15.
parents are rich. Why is he dead almost? So our superintendent would get on the announcements and be like, as many of you know, we lost a member of the Council Rock community this weekend. And then she just would be like, moment of silence. Like, it was the same fucking thing every time. I want to be like, hey, Suze, you're going to have to step it up because I want to kill myself during this announcement. Are you kidding me? It was horrible. It's like, I don't even mean to make light of it. It was stressful, whether you knew the people or not. God bless any of those families, anybody that went through that all in the same time.
Yeah.
It was so horrible. But the announcement, like thinking about that pilot having to be the person that gives bad news.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's been a time in my life where I've had to be the deliverer of like really bad news.
Mm-hmm.
But thinking about, yes, I'm criticizing this woman for how she handled it. We were kids. I don't think it was handled well at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's no guidebook for what to do.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, did she drop the ball to a point that I vividly remember one of my girlfriends and I like doing that bit. Like, as many of you know, we lost a member of the Council Rock community. Like, this is, I'm talking 14 years ago in my life. What year is it? How
2025.
old am I? Yeah, so 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget it.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag never forget.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible. But talk about a job I don't want to have either. Is
Yeah.
being the bearer of bad news. Like,
Yeah, and someone has to do it. I mean.
But just thinking about that pilot having to, like, when you tell news and you know people are going to scatter and freak out, and you have to, like, be like, how can I do this to reduce the most amount of stress right now?
Mm-hmm. And some people are better at that than others. Some people, I'm like, you should never be the person who tells people bad news. Because, like, you know, when you talk to someone and they're panicked, and it's like, you need to be the parent for a minute.
Yeah.
And not go up to someone already screaming and telling them this. And I get that it's not always that easy, but I
used to do this joke on stage about how my parents are both really bad at giving news in different ways. My mom is like queen of like sitting at the kitchen table alone, dramatic, and you come in and she's like, the joke I would do is like, I came home one day from school or something and my mom, like college, and my mom was like, Jamie, like, you know how we haven't seen Consuela in a while? And my stepdad from the other room goes, yeah, she killed herself. Which is like, and the joke I say is like, it's just a crazy reveal when I tell you that Consuela is what my parents call their Roomba. And this is like a true story. I literally went home. My mom was like being so dramatic. And then Jack's like, yeah, she killed herself. And I was like, what are either of you talking about? Like, this is like the real story is what happened. And my mom's like, they couldn't find their Roomba for a few days. Like, and I'm talking little small robot vacuum.
Yeah.
Couldn't find Roomba for a few days. And then she had gotten stuck under their bed. And when they, like, my mom like relaunched and recalibrated her, she just fell down the stairs and like fully broke. And the joke I say on stage is like, yeah, if I had spent a couple of nights under my parents' bed, I'd kill myself too. Like, I'd launch myself off a flight of steps also. But I just think about
that's so funny though too, because I feel like the lead-in of we couldn't find her, she was missing, and then
we haven't seen her.
And then she fell down a flight of stairs.
Yes, so I guess like,
but also that's the Roomba.
And my stepdad is not someone I ever want to be the one to give me bad news, but neither is my mom because she drags it out. It's so funny. In person, she drags it out, but if on a phone call, she'll be like, hey, and I'm like, who died? And I immediately know someone died. But on like text or anything, she'll like, it's just so bad. And my stepdad's a doctor, which is hilarious because like, he just doesn't take those skills home with him. Yeah. He obviously has to do
clocks
it at
out.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, he clocks out. He doesn't believe in vaccines after work. It's crazy.
Producer and friend, Neil Wood here. Brief commercial break.
Hey, hold right there. Don't dare skip this. This is an important message. Me and my boy Albert Davis, we want to tell you about our podcast, Seriously Dad. Albert, why should they listen?
Because it's the best podcast in the world. It's by two comedians who are dads. And you know what we're talking about? Being dads. It's called Seriously Dad. Check us out on social media at Seriously Dad Podcast. And
anywhere you get your podcast, that's where we're at. We're funny. We got some great guests coming our way. We cover the topics you want to hear. Check us out.
Yeah, he clocks out. He doesn't believe in vaccines after work. It's crazy. I'm kidding. He's just a great doctor. He loves vaccines.
He does. Big vaccine slut.
He just like goes out in public and pops them in people.
He's so into vaccines. Okay, yeah, and I guess my question was, how long do you think? Like, what was the longest?
Do you have an answer?
No, I really don't know.
Oh, okay.
But like, do you think anyone could have made it more than
2001? What if like some weirdo was making like some like indie film project in the woods or something?
Yeah, like there are people who
rehab. Don't they not tell people bad news like that if they're in rehab? So
that's true. And I was thinking about, as you were telling this story, how when I was in 10th grade, 9th grade, a boy in my class who I've known for many years, and he sat directly in front of me in homeroom because his last name started with a C, and he accidentally, he died in a very tragic accident. He fell off of something very high up and died. And that they announced it on the news. It was really awful. And then 2 days later, I happened to, unrelated, be checked into a mental health facility for a while. And I was obviously like completely no contact to the outside world. And everyone at school was still like really reeling from this because he was, it was not a big school. And one of the girls in the facility with me, I knew we went to high school together. And I said to her, and she was friends with him. And so I figured she had to have known. And I was like, I'm really sorry. Like, how are you doing? And I'm really sorry to hear about Nick. And she was like, what? And I was like, oh. And then they yelled at me for breaking that news because they were like, you are not supposed to tell people bad news.
To me on a school trip. I don't know if I said this on the pod, where I like was on a school trip in Mexico. And we were like on this like bus and I like got on and some girl that I didn't really talk to was like, hey, I saw you're friends with so-and-so on Facebook. I was like, oh, yeah, like, blah, blah, like, how I know him, like, thinking she was sharing that we had a mutual. And she goes, oh, he killed himself last night. And I literally, like, never in my life had this feeling where I literally fell to my knees. Could I not catch my breath?
That's it. Yeah, because you're just like, I mean, well, first, you're also like, say psych right now, babe. Like, say.
This is a catch-22 for me. I'm on a bus in Mexico. I can't get off. Yeah, it was horrible. Truly, like, the person that, like, came and, like, saved me was, like, to go sit with them was, like, it was a teacher, but happened to be my friend's older sister. And she just was, like, there was a big age gap. And she was a teacher at our high school by the time we were in high school. And, like, she just was sitting next to me. And, like, I know she's calculating how to even process what just happened. And I was like, and she was like, she just said, like, that girl should have... And like just basically was like not saying sentences, but I knew we were on the same page. And I was like, yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, so
What was your question? Oh, coal miners.
It was, how long after 9/11 do you think the last person found out, other than coma patients or...
About a week or two.
A week or two.
And someone doing some sort of job or they were abroad or something.
I think abroad, though, like... The only thing I can think of is when people do go on those
2001
hiking.
was like 1950, like, and someone had to be on the radio. Like, there was obviously still everything.
They didn't have access to the U.S. Postal Service.
I was alive. I'm like, okay, 4th grade.
It is
we
true,
had
though.
phones. Everyone was calling everyone. It had to have been someone that was just away from internet, away from phones.
Yeah, like someone who was like doing a retreat or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like you could be really somewhere remote.
Because I'm just thinking about who got the luxury of being the last people to find out about that,
The people on the plane, probably.
Yeah, not to brag, but as someone who was one of the first.
No, I mean the people on the plane that crashed.
Oh, they never found out. Yeah. They actually got to die. So happy knowing.
Too. We all knew it was happening.
Yeah. Okay, that's a great, okay, these are great, what are they called? Unhinged icebreakers. I do have a later rest and a resurrect before we wrap. Do you?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay. Mine will be quick. I want to later rest. This is something I was kind of writing for a joke on stage, but it got me heated. I was like, maybe I'm too heated to make it a joke right now. But you know how like there are people who you have to tiptoe around their feelings because they have such they just burst over anything, right?
Yeah.
You can't say anything to them without them acting like it's an attack on them or, oh, so you think and you're like, I'm just trying to have a conversation with you, whatever. Those are the same people who are always like, I hate therapy speak. And it's like, you're the reason we have therapy speak.
Yeah.
Like, we were like, just give it to me straight. I would love to, babe. I would love to give it to you straight, but you can't handle anything other than if I just said to you, like, hey, Jamie, can you not fucking drink my tea anymore? Right? Which is a very aggressive way to be like, oh, hey, I think that was my tea that you drank. Even if you didn't know, right?
Yeah.
I'm using an I statement now. I'm not being aggressive. But then the people who can't even hear that really, but who would hear anything and be like, oh, well, fuck you. And it's like, you're the reason we have therapy speak. It exists because you can't handle anything. And it drives me crazy when those people are just like, oh my God, this tiptoeing, this therapy speak. I'm like, my dude, the call's coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
I would love to not have to talk like this. But
well, who does that? I think it was Ryan Rowe. I just heard him do a joke about participation trophies. And he's like, you're like, who was giving us them but the boomers? Like,
amen.
He's like, they're like, oh, every kid got a participation trophy. He's like, I didn't print it out myself.
Yeah, I didn't buy it. Well, do you know Jeffrey Asmus? Yeah, he has like a really good, like from his early Don't Tell special about that, where he was saying like his dad always gets on that, like participation trophies, everyone gets a trophy. And he's like, well, yeah, because you grew up back when only white people could play basketball with you.
Yeah.
So like you
that's
weren't
a participation trophy.
Yeah, you weren't losing in the same way. But then once the black kids got to play, all of a sudden you're not as good anymore. You wish you had a participation trophy. Okay, that's my later rest is the people who act like they can take things, like give it to me straight, and they are the entire reason that we have kind language because they lose their minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My later rest, you said pizza earlier. I said it triggered something. And I feel like, I don't know if I'm just getting targeted with this stuff, but pizza seems to be the food, pizza and burgers, where like body positive, like all this stuff, like I'm sure I've said some iteration of this, but it's always like eating pizza means like you're okay with yourself. Like I'm sick of symbolic pizza. And we need a later rest pizza symbolism. Where it's just like pizza, because pizza used to mean something in this country. Like people used to have pizza parties.
We used to make pizza in this country.
Fridays. Like people used to pizza used to be like Friday night family time. Like now pizza got like gourmet, it got too crazy, it's all over the place. And it also became this symbol of like, I'm a cool girl. Yeah. I can eat whatever.
I'm different.
Or like a guy just being like, I could eat old pizza. Like it became such like gender symbolism. I'm like,
yep.
Shut up.
Yep.
Pizza is for friends. Pizza is for family. If you like a good pizza, there are good pizza spots. It's like it's not about you. Stop using
These are fucking
pizza.
bars that you're dropping right now. Oh my God. Yes, bitch.
You know what I mean, though?
No, you're exactly right.
Like,
yeah.
I'm sick of it. Like, I don't know if it's Barstool redacted and like pizza being like a trendy, like cool, like.
Oh, yeah.
But even the way he does it is like, do I like this pizza? Would I share this with my friends? Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like a shout out to good pizza or not good pizza.
Yeah.
But just like the like, pizza is a convenient food. It's easy.
It's
like
cheap.
I'm just so confused by the like I eat whatever I want.
But I'm also so fucking skinny still.
Yeah.
Well, I think it also ties back to I loved and still do love the show Gilmore Girls, but that was such the thing on that show in the early 2000s was the whole bit
my
constantly,
metabolism so fast.
How much they eat. They're always eating in every episode. It's like they order 5 different things. They order Chinese and
You're
Italian.
out of the house. I'm getting Indian because you don't like how it smells.
Yep, that's a great reference because that does exactly happen. But it's like all they do is order out. All they do is eat like full things. And everyone's always like, how do you guys look like that? And it's like, because they're not actually doing that.
They don't show you the cocaine they're doing.
Right.
Or them purging after
themselves.
they binge.
Yeah. No, you're right, though. The idea of making people think
symbolic
that
foods.
Eating pizza is like a personality trait.
Yeah.
Who the fuck doesn't eat pizza? And also grow up, eat wings. Eat wings.
Order both. I don't care.
Eat them together, baby.
Pull a Lorelai, order both, and then cheat on everyone or whatever.
And then be such a little brat to your mom. Anyway.
It's cold. We live in stars. Hello.
Oh, my parents paid for me
I don't
to have
know,
the
I'm not
best
married,
upbringing.
but in this town, everyone's gay or old.
Yeah.
And I'm not married.
There's only one guy, and it's Luke. Okay.
As part of the audience, I'd like to say I'm snapping for that later rest as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Symbolic
I thought you
pizza.
were like, I'm really into these Gilmore Girls
I
references.
love Lorelai and Luke.
Didn't know
He's
what
like,
you were talking
Team
about.
Dean, first of all. You would be
out.
Team Dean. You don't even know what that means, but you would be. And that's an insult.
Thank you. But yeah, no, I'm definitely feeling in on that. Feels like everything
the
now is a
blonde
personality trait.
No, that's Logan. Dean is Jared Padalecki.
I'm sorry I
one.
did this. I'm sorry I talked. Okay.
And
Gilmore Girls.
Okay, I do have a T-shirt that says "Teeny Time," and I had this like martini time.
Oh,
and I had like a.
I thought you meant like
teeny time. Just it's like when I have a little bit of time.
little baby Jamie.
It's like I wear it to like go on a date. I just have a teeny time.
I have a teeny little bit of
but
time.
I think the shirt's cute and it's tiny. But then I was like, I saw a girl recently wearing a shirt that said "extra dirty, extra olives," and I would be like, why do we have to make merch about everything? The pizza symbolism is back. Like, and I get it.
Tacos did it too at Target.
I realized what it is. I came around on this. I wanted to end it, and I'm bringing it around. I think there is so many hobbies, so many TV channels, so many ventures. Like our pop culture is no longer united. That the things people are making merch about to like collectively relate to one another is food, is drink, is like general things.
Yes,
we're like, oh, I'm
the most
such a
basic.
dirty martini girly, like whatever. And I love dirty martinis.
Me too.
And I have a t-shirt about it. And I was like, I have 2 t-shirts. I have another t-shirt that just has olives on it. And I think I got them out of spite because when Josh and I were just friends, I showed him the shirt. I was like, I think I'm going to wear the shirt. And he's like, I wouldn't get that, but you do.
Well, it's not for you, Josh, first of all.
Also, Mr. eBay graphic t-shirts.
Yeah.
Please.
That was okay. I just want to shout out. That was a killer fart noise, mouth fart noise.
Oh God, I did forget that this is mostly audio.
Yeah, that was. Oh, I just meant like.
Can you imagine if
credit where credit is due? I just wanted to say you did a great job.
Can you imagine listening to this on Spotify?
Just think
neither of us address it.
Yeah, Kir and I was like, oh my God. And then you just say, excuse me. And then we just move on.
Yeah, excuse me.
Yeah,
oh man.
What was I saying? Oh, so I'm back around on people needing community.
Yes. Well, I want to say something real quick, only because Josh said that thing about that shirt, which I don't agree with. But Josh also went to Michael's for you to get a shirt to decorate one of those Gildan plain t-shirts, and he bought a bunch just to wear, and he was like, these are such a good deal.
He went, my boyfriend
$3 shirts.
Went shopping.
He got 50.
Got a new wardrobe at Michael's, the craft store, aisle 117. Is this my life? Like, this was like, if you told me manifesting in 2023.
Oh, I wish that like this time last year I could have been like, because it's almost our 1 year anniversary.
I love Josh, but if you straight up were like, we were doing MASH and you're like, you're dating someone your height, bald, bartender, shops at Michael's for funsies,
busy every night of the weekend,
never been a professional athlete, single, loves you, cares about you. You're like, what the fuck? What do you mean?
And here we are. Again,
I love that little Trumpy boy.
Finds a way. I've been trying so hard to find another Jurassic Park quote to say while we've been doing this because of what you did in the last episode, but I only know that one.
Well, it actually ties in your resolution with yelling because half the movie is just that little girl going,
yeah, my favorite Jurassic Park quote is
it's always her just like Jeff Goldblum like mumbling.
Yeah, he's quippy. He's always being quippy. And the little kids, no matter how many times they see the dinosaurs, cannot believe they're seeing dinosaurs. And it's like
her face and the little girl's like this.
They're like, there were raptors outside. I can't believe it. And then 3 seconds later, they're like, now there's raptors in the kitchen. I can't believe it. It's like they went through the same door you did, babe. Okay, I digress.
Remember that you know the other one. Dino D.
Oh yeah, Dino D. Okay, but when the fuck am I going to use that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Right now.
The one that I was going to try to
22.
quote is when he's like, when they see them for the first time, and then she's like, they do move in herds. And I feel like I could say that about something that we were talking about, but I lost it. So
women who like dirty martinis.
They do move in her. Oh my God. Can we roll it back? No, I could not agree more. The as you've heard me complain about the bit that I've been trying to work on about like people with the most mild personalities who think they have like a hot take and their take is so like, I think we shouldn't kill people or like, I hate cancer. And it's like, wow, you're crazy, girl. You're fucking wild. And like the love of, because I remember I was managing a Mexican restaurant when all of a sudden tacos and tequila was on everybody's shirts. Like Target was selling.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Or like the like t-shirts for women, like they're yoga shirts, but they say namaste inside. And you're like, wow, you are funny. This girl has a sense of humor and she is different than the others. Like I hope she gets picked.
What is it, like deadlifts and red wine? Like I've seen some of the worst. But it helps them make friends with the kind of people they want to be friends with.
Can we, because this is now like the 4th time on this pod that we have talked about the worst shirts you've ever seen. Can we, for our 1 year pod anniversary, which will be Valentine's Day, can we each pick one for the other? Can we do it?
Yeah.
As our 1 year anniversary gift? Because I have a couple I would love.
Do you have any like things that are a hard no for you on them?
No. Just not, I guess, racist or homophobic, but it can be the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Yeah.
Oh man, I might have to get a couple options.
I thought you were gonna be like, if not racist, I can't think of anything.
I just did one Google and I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah. Okay. My resurrect. Do you ever resurrect?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you
just the resolution to
I'll never tell.
I might.
Unless you guess. Unless you beg, then I'll tell you.
My resurrect is like, I feel like I say the same shit every time, but going back to like symbolic pizza, like people just being confident in themselves. Like it's okay to like something. It's not a guilty pleasure. It's not weird. It doesn't whatever. Yesterday, fucking Chomper Magoo, Josh says, I said I got a dirty chai latte, and he goes, oh, that's my, what did he say? That's my guilty pleasure drink. And I was like, what is about it is guilty?
What's the guilt?
And he's like, I guess. Because then of course I'm like, are you calling me fat? Because it's a bunch of calories.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I guess it's just like can be expensive like when you're out. And I was
Good save.
Yeah. And I just was like, do you just mean it's like a treat you get sometimes? Like it's not like guilty pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't have to be like a
bad.
Yeah. Like not everything has to be a thing. Like, oh, you order that because you like it. Okay, that's done. That's the end of that. Not your whole personality now. Are you getting a t-shirt? Dirty chai time. You don't even know how dirty my chai is. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I would say like talk dirty to me, but it would be like a picture of a Starbucks dirty chai. That would like, be the shirt.
Chai mane. It's like a sad cat.
Yeah. These are all good, Neil. Are you writing these down?
Is this recording?
No, you do your little doodles, right? Could you put something together?
Perfect. Yeah, I think like my resurrect is just like, it's okay to like stuff.
Without it being.
I think because we're so separated and there's no cultural like dysphoria that's continued now, like contained. We don't have like a one pop culture.
Agreed.
So like there's less like, oh, this person nerd. Like I don't know what a lunchroom would look like these days. Like there's not enough bullies because we don't have one straight shot anymore, which is great and wonderful. But everyone needs to just like your shit, talk your shit, and stop being so worried about it.
I was going to say it's definitely insecurity. It's that feeling like I want to say I like this thing, but I'm going to soft launch it. Like I like it, but I know I shouldn't.
Like, is that
unless
weird?
you like it,
unless
then...
the thing you like is like straight up murdering people, like I think you're mostly okay.
That's a literal guilty pleasure because you would be guilty for murder.
Like that Armie Hammer interview. Did you see? Yeah. Like trying to clear up. He's like, I didn't always eat people. You're like, what the fuck, man? This is supposed to be helping you.
He like thought he could save himself.
Yeah. He's just like, I've always been this hot and tall. No one has ever told me no.
I didn't know.
And like, I was just trying something for sport.
Well, what you're saying though is reminding me about right before you got here to record, I was working on this. I have another PowerPoint show this weekend and because the last one I did was all about things that are inexplicably embarrassing.
Yeah.
Just like, there's no reason why, like having the hiccups in a group setting, whatever. But this is my sequel. And it's me owning the things that I have done. And it's the category is things I should have been bullied for, but wasn't because people felt bad for me.
Truly everything.
Yeah.
You
and
should
so
have been
like
bullied for having CF.
Thank you. First and foremost.
I've been like making up for 30 years of lost time.
I know, you really have. But it's like about the disservice it did me to grow up in a world where I thought, like I was saying.
It's like why only children are so weird.
I was saying before you got here that like, I remember being like 12 or 13 years old with all girls at a sleepover. And I was already weird because I had to keep going into another room to do my nebulizer treatments and shit. And I hated it. But then I remember everyone saying their celebrity crush in a circle or like guys from school or something. Like everyone just had like a crush and it was like Nick Jonas or it was like.
And you're like Stephanie's dad.
Steve from Homeroom. I said Mike Birbiglia, who at the time had one album and it was self-produced called One Drink Mike. And I was so off.
You should have been one shot to the face Cure.
Legally, you should have been allowed to execute me right there. And I
was it. See, was that your guilty pleasure?
That was my guilty little pleasure.
I'm gonna look up what he looked like at that time.
He looked like I saw him in the picture. He didn't even have a live special for me to look at. I just knew I loved him. I thought he was funny. He was arguably 32 years old, and I was 12.
I guess that's how I felt like. During the pandemic, I listened to a bunch of David Spade interviews and I was like, I'd be in love with David Spade.
And then you saw a picture and you were like, oh, actually.
Well, I know who David Spade is.
Yeah.
Mike Birbiglia has always
needed
a different haircut.
I know. And you saying this is not helping. I'm
So
already
you
paying
said
for my
that.
sins.
And what did the girls even say?
I just remember people being like, we don't know who that is. And I was like, oh, he's a comedian. And it was just, yeah. Because I've been working on a bit about this,
So
about how
pick me.
I
would have
hate.
just fucking people's elbowed you.
Well, the
into
thing is, like,
sleepover.
I also always felt, though, like, because I was not awake when the shows were on that they watched, that a lot of the stuff I watched was older.
Yeah.
And I felt like the only people who knew the shows I was talking about were teachers. Like, I remember being really into Cheers when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Not to be cool and hipster, but because it was what was on when I was awake. But I'm like, oh, I should have gotten bullied for that. For a lot of these things.
Well, you know what's funny? I think at the time, like, people would have just thought you were, like, unique. Like, it was like, I feel like when you were in high school, middle school, like, it was the time of, like, that was, like, a new
Different,
thing.
quirky.
Of, like,
Yeah.
quirky was, like, being more and more accepted as, like, cool.
No, but you know what was the coolest thing to be in 2006 was random. If you were random, my favorite color is invisible. I'm so crazy.
That's literally so random.
What's your favorite dinosaur? Mine's Stegosaurus.
Rawr.
Rars, I love you in
XD.
dinosaur.
My God, I'm not going to pop my collar at this party. Just kidding. That was so random.
Oh my God, sorry. I'm just crazy. Sometimes I just scream. Making fun of my own resolution. I eat wings. I'm hot, but I eat wings. Even when my face is covered in sauce, I'm still hot. My resurrect, my last one, this is really short and sweet. I don't think it needs explanation. I would like to resurrect at any, even though we're adults now, if you fall asleep in the car getting carried inside still. Uber driver or friend.
I mean, Josh's biggest fear is when I start to doze off on the couch. Because he's like, he knows, like, he's gonna have to sling me up the stairs. And as previously stated, we are the same height.
And he's like,
so he's gonna have to fold me in half and, like,
he gets one of those, like, dollies that he uses for moving.
if I get woken up, I'm awake forever. So, like, he's got to be like, okay, go upstairs.
No,
Yeah, or
I
he's
can
gotta
sleep through it
throw
all.
me.
And I would like to still be able to do the thing as a kid where you pretend to fall asleep.
Yeah,
and then
you're just
your
long. That's the only issue you have.
Uber driver will carry me. Yeah.
Uber driver, no.
Well, this is my wish. So you don't get to tell me no. Resurrects are not up
Is
for
your
discussion.
Uber driver your boyfriend?
No, my Uber driver would
Do
be
you have a boyfriend?
a man who drives an Uber. I am dating my Uber driver. Yes, that is true. I am dating an Uber driver, but he's not the one I want to drive me. I'm dating multiple Uber drivers.
I'm learning. I'm listening. I'm learning.
Okay, well, I need you to listen with less of a face on because I know you're saying you don't like my resurrect.
No.
Okay.
That's not what I was thinking. I was thinking about you getting manhandled by Uber drivers.
Okay.
Like, they barely take luggage out.
They could put me in a suitcase and
God, there's
roll me
definitely
in.
some legal issue.
And roll me in. Okay,
That's
you
a
know
good
what?
Resurrect.
You don't have to like it because I'm going to resurrect it.
No, I was trying to somehow tie in you and your Uber driver and me and Jalen Hurts in the same car after our car accident, and you, like, on the side of the road getting pulled out by your Uber driver, like our new sliding doors.
That's how we...
Is me, like, rear-ending Jalen Hurts and then him accidentally rear-ending your Uber driver, and you wake up and you then pretend to go back to sleep.
And then Jalen carries me up and he pushes my little tush up the stairs.
No, I'm pushing his tush.
Okay,
For no
you're pushing
reason. I'm just
his-
cupping it.
You're pushing his, I'm pushing yours, and now we're at the point where Neil's doing the thing where he starts getting restless and he starts moving around because he's
Go
done with
birds,
us.
baby.
Go birds. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram.
Venmo Kirsten, she's dying.
And you got to stop being... Oh, wait, yeah, sorry. And that's all. I've been Kirsten Michelle Cills,
Jamie Pappas.
and we're dying up here.
Stop being weird about it. Please, dear God.
Hey, producer Neil Wood, subscribe now to the Dying Up Here podcast at Dying Up Here Pod on YouTube. And make sure to follow Kirsten and Jamie on all the stuff. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. Hey, how you doing? This is Neil Wood, one of the co-owners of Drop 10 Media Network and who helps run Biggest Little Comedy. You can check out all the other stuff we do at drop10.com. We've got podcasts, live comedy shows, and so much more. Go over there, support your favorite podcasts, follow them, subscribe. We appreciate it. Again, we're 100% DIY, just a bunch of creatives trying to make it in this, and give us some feedback. We always enjoy a little feedback. Thanks.
This has been a Drop Tent Media production.